Hello and welcome back to the podcast. My name's Matt and I'm here with Pattie. Hello, Pattie.
Hello, Matt.
How are you?
I'm very well today, actually.
Good. The sun is shining, which is wonderful for end of October.
Yeah.
And we've got a very exciting guest today. Who have we got on the podcast today?
We have the most fabulous Kenney Jones, the most divine drummer, and he's been with many bands, including The Who, which I think is the main reason that people would know his name. But as a person, he is absolutely adorable. Yeah,
I mean, it was incredible to meet Kenney, and for those that don't know, this episode is actually recorded over 2 days. So when we were with Kenney originally, he was telling us about the Polo Club, and he had his drums set up, and so the next day we went over to the Polo Club, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see some of that. But what really struck me about Kenney is his entire story, from beginning to end. And I guess that's what I've really enjoyed about this podcast so far, is just the unique stories that all these different people have to share. I mean, that wasn't necessarily the plan, but that's how it's gone, which has been great.
Yeah, it has been great. It's been very interesting, but I also have to add here that not everybody is a famous musician. The people that we've chosen and invited to come on this podcast are actually really interesting, amusing, mainly interesting for whatever reason.
I think that's one of the really cool things about this podcast, is the fascinating stories that people have to share. And so hopefully you've all enjoyed that so far, all the different stories that we've heard. We've got many more stories to share. But with that in mind, shall we jump into Kenney's story?
Yeah.
All right. So this is Cocktails with Pattie and Kenney Jones.
God, this looks lethal. One dark rum.
You'd only get these sugar sticks in Harrods.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them for years and years. Here we are, and here's one for Matt.
I'm going to get this right. Like maracas. No. Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah, these are going to blow your head off.
Now, Kenney.
Here we go.
What do we do with the sticks?
You just
The
leave,
sugar sticks?
You just leave it in there and drink it while it's in, with this in it.
Oh,
No, take that one.
why am I taking this one, Kenney?
It looks a bit less potent.
It's a girl one, is it?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
God, this looks really exotic.
Quite strong.
Oh, I love it.
The
Love it.
The reason I like these is because they're, most tropical drinks are all kind of fruity,
Yes.
and these are a bit stronger.
I don't know what I can taste mainly in this. I think I can taste the Demerara rum
Yeah.
more than the others.
Well, you're going to get the grog mix come through there, isn't it?
And then it hits the back of the throat.
It certainly does, yeah.
Something about this Demerara rum. It says here it's been aged for 5 years.
Bit like me and you.
Well, you're aging very well. How have you been?
All right, yeah. Sort of bored like everyone else, but busy doing other things. Waiting to go back on the road, waiting to play.
Yes.
Trying to keep fit
Well done.
and stuff like that. What about you?
Well, I thought it would be fun to do this podcast, Drinks with Pattie. But last summer
That'd be great, isn't it?
I did another one called of recipes, lockdown lunches.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever hear it, Kenney?
No, I didn't, no.
Oh.
I'll have to listen to that.
Oh, it's great. It's really good. It went on and on all summer until I finally got a little fed up with making food for humans, that I made dog biscuits.
Oh, dog biscuits.
Yes, and that went down really well for Freddie, my dog. And then we finally did a cocktail, which was a pineapple and vodka cocktail.
Oh, nice.
Which was really nice. And then that gave me the idea of doing cocktails this spring and summer.
Well, I've got to add this to it.
What? So everyone I've talked to has got a different cocktail
Yeah.
and a different story and a different joke. Kenney.
Well, my story with this goes right back to...
You told me you've got a good story to
Yeah,
tell
well,
me.
what it is, it goes right back to the Faces touring, me, Ronnie Wood and Rod, and Mac and Ronnie Lane,
Yeah.
touring America in 1969 onwards. And when we started to tour around America, we discovered that the Hilton hotels had Trader Vic's restaurant in them, which is Polynesian. So it's a Hawaiian restaurant. And it's you've been to Trader Vic's in London.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Those were all identical everywhere you went. So we insisted on saying in as many Hilton hotels as we could, because we knew we all had like these drinks. I mean, I fell in love with this particular drink, and everybody else had like pina coladas and God knows what. So, and also, the food was great because it was cooked in the clay ovens they had, which were you could see it in like a greenhouse. Like you could see it sitting around the tables, and you had titbits with it. Titbits were barbecued pork in a clay oven, and spare ribs, 2 spare ribs, and cheese bings. No, believe me, that's all you ever wanted. Navy Grogs, done.
Really?
Out
That's
for the
all
count.
you'd eat on tour?
Well,
Gosh.
no, now and again, every time we got to a Hilton hotel. Yeah, and there was one in San Francisco, there was one in LA. And when we got to Hawaii, oh God, that was it. Yeah. And the main reason you went to these the Polynesian hotel, Trader Vic's, because it was completely away from. You weren't on the road again. You're completely in another land, and you could totally relax and drink. And you weren't on the road. You're just having fun, and Polynesian music, so all that Hawaiian music, and you drifted away drinking these things, and you're getting more and more smashed. I love it.
So this didn't influence the music in any way, did you? You never went
Of course
sort of... Did you do any sort of Hawaiian music? There's a
No.
great Hawaiian guitarist, I seem to remember.
Well, Woody used to play lovely slide guitar. That reminded me every time he played slide guitar or pedal steel.
Lovely.
He would that would remind me a bit of these drinks.
Oh, right.
But yeah, no, it goes back to then. Then Trader Vic's in Parkland. We used to go there all the time on a Friday. Now Ringo was there sometimes, Keith Moon and various other people at 6 o'clock on a Friday. So and the Polynesian music, and so everyone was relaxing, had a great time. You know.
So it's all about a fantasy, isn't it?
Well,
This drink takes you on a fantasy.
Well, it does. It takes you.
Hawaiian fantasy,
Yeah.
with the music and the drink and the sort of being
Well,
lulled
it's
into...
the nearest you're going to get to Hawaii. Let's put it that way, Honolulu.
Yes.
It's going to Park Lane and Trader Vic's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So for me, it's a great... When I came back, and all my kids, I used to go down all the time, when they were little babies and stuff like that, when they were little tiny ones, they used to love going there because it was different for them.
Well, when you were a little boy, how did you get into the first band?
How did I get in the first band? I formed the Small Faces
Did you?
myself, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenney, well done. Why did you call them Small
I heard
Faces?
because it was young. When we found Steve Merritt, he had a very posh friend, a young lady who lived in Kensington. We went round to her house one day, and she said, "Well, you got to get yourself a name." And we went, "Oh, right, okay." She said, "I know what. Why don't you call yourself the Small Faces?" And we just burst out laughing and said, "No way, we don't want to be called that." Of course, we took the piss out of the name all the time,
Yeah.
and it stuck with us.
Oh, I see.
So,
Oh, that's lovely.
yeah. So onwards and upwards, and then we turned into the Faces when we split up, and Rod and Woody joined the band.
Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Did it make a difference when they joined?
Well, yes, it was a completely different band. It wasn't a continuation of the Small Faces. It was a different band, more blues oriented.
Who brought that in? Woody or
I think
Rod?
all of us really, because we were like that. More Rod, I think, on the way Woody was playing, because Woody said, "I don't want to play bass anymore." He was playing bass with Jeff Beck band.
Right.
And Rob was on a wage, and Woody was on a wage with the Jeff Beck band, and so they joined us, and we thought, okay, they were free to do what they liked. And Woody was playing slide guitar, which is more bluesy and more rustic. So that's the way we went.
They just progressed from there.
We progressed from there.
Yeah.
We got signed by Warner Brothers. Right? Warner Brothers said, because everyone says, how did you get the name of the Faces? You know, we thought it was a continuation of the Small Faces. I said no. The reason we kept the name the Faces was because when we went to sign, I noticed on the contract it said Small Faces, and I said no, we're not called the Small Faces. And they said, well, you're more well known as the Small Faces, so if you're not going to be called the Small Faces, we're not going to sign you. You can't have this money.
Stop.
So I said, okay, right. I said the first album will be called the Small Faces. Thereafter that, we're going to be called the Faces, because there's nothing small about us. We're going to drop the small.
Yes.
And that's how we got our name. How did the Beatles get their name? I've been dying to know. You must know.
Why must I know?
Because,
I wasn't there at the beginning.
well, haven't you heard any stories while you were there?
Why are they called the Beatles? I don't know.
I've got to find out myself.
Do you know what? There's a writer. He is a forensic expert on the Beatles.
Oh, really?
He's written 3 huge tomes. He almost talks about what toothpaste they use.
Let's get him down for drinks. He must have
We
a friend.
need him.
Mm.
This is a man we need. Now, did you enjoy touring America?
I think, well, I can remember of it. Yeah. Yes. I mean,
Which was your favourite country to tour in?
oh, it's got to be the States.
Okay.
It's got to be the States. I
Only
mean,
because of the Hilton Hotel, you mean?
no, because we toured there when the Vietnam War was on, and we became very good friends with all the GIs there.
Oh.
And it's quite funny. The penny really dropped with me when we were in a hotel and some of the GIs were coming up back on leave for a bit, and some had their legs blown off and some had one arm. And they were the same age as us, and they loved our music and stuff. And there was us having a great time, playing music, you know, just having fun. And these same guys, the same age, were having their legs blown off. So we became very warm with each other. We bonded.
Yeah.
And so the GIs used to follow us all around in America all the time. We used to take, after the gig, we used to say, party back at the hotel. So we got a terrible reputation for smashing it up. We blamed it on the GIs.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to have done that.
Oh yeah, well, it kind of happened naturally.
Yeah. But those poor boys are all so young, weren't they? Very sad. But it's really sweet that you did that. How lovely. I'm happy to hear that.
Well, it kind of still goes on every time we go to America and stuff. You know, lots of people come out of the woodwork, you know, same age as us now. We're all getting older now.
Yes.
And they, you know, we reminisce about the old days. Oh.
Did you ever play with Gary Brooker? Because we spoke to him earlier.
Yeah.
And poor Gary, I kept talking about Whiter Shade of Pale, as if that's the only thing he's ever done.
Yeah, I played with him, only White Shade of Pale with him.
Oh, really?
As a guest drummer, yeah.
What made you become a drummer in the first place?
They run out of banjos.
Stop it.
No, they do. The reason I got into drumming, because in the East End of London, we had these Catholic bands that roam around the streets on Sundays and religious days. And my uncle was a mace thrower. He wasn't a band leader, he kind of band director. Behind him was a row of side drummers, and I fell in love with the side drummers. I just used to walk alongside them when I was a little kid. I grew up with them. I pretended I was one of the side drummers. My dad was a bit of a carpenter, so I used to go to this shed. He had a bag of, like a biscuit tin full of nails and stuff. So I'd get rid of the nails, turn them upside down. Because it's tin, it sounded just like a snare drum. When I heard Lonnie Donegan play on the 6-5 special, I couldn't believe what I was hearing with the banjo. I fell in love with the banjo. And I remember in a pawn shop in Bethnal Green, I'd seen this banjo in there for 3 months prior, you know. I thought, I've seen that banjo, I'm going to go buy one. Don't forget, we rush up there, me and my mate, with no money in our pockets. We're just that eager. Get there, and the banjo had gone. 3 months it's been there.
No.
So I was in there, I said, where's the banjo? Well, it's a pawn shop. The guy's paid his money, he's gone and taken it home. I said, get it back. Go and get it back. So I was walking back with my mate back to my house. My mate said to me, really upset, aren't you? I said, yeah, I am. I'm really looking forward to playing that banjo. And he said, a friend of mine has got a drum kit. I'll get him to bring it over this afternoon. I said, yeah, great. He brought a drum kit over, and it ended up being a bass drum, 1 floor tom-tom, and 2 broken sticks. No, it's 2 sticks, one of them which is broken in half. So we spent most of the afternoon trying to glue it back together. No super glue in those days. So every time we hit it, and we said, wait for it to glue together, and hit it, it fell apart again. So I learned to play drums on 1.5 sticks. That's it.
Oh, so you never later on in life discovered a banjo?
Much later on in life, I always promised myself I'd have a banjo, and I bought one.
Yeah.
Bought a fantastic mother of pearl inlay, fantastic. And I bought the wrong one.
No.
Found out afterwards. I bought a league banjo, long neck, and I like the old George Formby ones.
You still got it?
Yeah, I love it.
Did you
I
learn
open the
how to
case
play
out, I
it?
look at it, I go, one day I'm going to get a rocking chair to go with this.
So can you play it?
No. Drums are my instrument. Banjo is my possession.
Okay.
It reminds me to stick to drumming.
So you still practice drums? Do you need to practice? I mean, you know how to play.
Every time we had a tour, I literally, if I knew I had a tour, I have to have something to work to. So if I know I'm going on a tour in 6 weeks, I'll start jogging and opening my lungs. And I used to have a lovely row machine. I believe for drumming, row machines are great because you're pulling everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause
a
you're
rowing machine? Wow. So you have to be physically fit to do a tour?
I think so. Well, yeah, because when you're touring every day, especially when I joined the Who, I wasn't quite as fit as I thought I was. So I soon learned how to be fit when I was confronted with 3.5 hours on stage, non-stop. And one thing I did notice as I was getting older is I cannot drink alcohol at all when I'm on tour.
Oh, really?
I can on a day off,
Right.
and occasionally after a gig. That's it. Because it goes to your muscles.
Really?
So yeah, it does slow you down. When I was in the Faces, right, Lowenbrow beer came out, and I started to sweat, and I could feel my skin getting sticky. So I just smelled of Lowenbrow beer.
Oh, wow.
So and in the end, with the Who, I had to take salt tablets, because I was losing so much salt
Yeah.
every night. When the Small Faces split, and we became the Faces anyway. We were together for about 7 years, and then I was doing sessions between bands and stuff like that. It was nice to not be on the road, so I was enjoying time off, but still being able to play. And I was enjoying myself, just time at home. I was putting together a transatlantic band with Kenney Jones, Glenn and I have been working together for years. So we were putting this band together, and it was half American and half English. So it's half rock and half Eagles sort of type band. Fantastic band it was. We just got a deal with Atlantic Records. Just about the time, I got a call from Bill Kirbysley, the Who's manager, to say, Kenny, I'll come straight to the point. So the Who have had a meeting, and they got together and they decided they're going to stay together, and they want you to play drums for them. And they're not considering anybody else. I said, well, it's very flattering, Bill. I said, but I can't. I can almost hear his chin drop on the floor. Why not? So because I've just formed this band, and he said, well, Pete's coming in to the office. So I said, okay, he's coming in the office. I said, yeah, he's coming in about 6 o'clock. I said, great, no problem, I'll come in. Always happy to see Pete. Pete and I have got a long history of working together anyway. So Small Faces and the Who used to tour all over Europe, all over England, Australia and New Zealand. And Mooney would never turn up for a sound check. So I was, Kenny, would you play Mooney's drums? There was all that sort of stuff. And Pete and I used to do lots of demos for the Who. And I did the soundtrack for Tommy when I was in the Faces for her. And so Pete and I and Bill Kirbysley were just talking for about 2 hours about the great times we had and what was, having a real laugh. And then suddenly Pete turns around about an hour and a half later and said, you've got to join the band. You're one of us, you're a mod. And suddenly I realised, I've got to do this. They're my mates, Pete's a great guy. So I said, look, I've got my band, my new transatlantic band, funny enough, are in town. And so the Americans are over here. So I'm going to see them after this, and I'll let you know. So I went to see the band, and I said, look, you won't believe this, guys. I said, the Who have asked me to join them. And they all turned around and said, Kenny, you've got to do it.
Oh, that's so sweet of them.
That was it. So I got there, blessed, and I ended up joining the Who. Little did I know what I was letting myself in for.
Was that fun?
That was fun. The hardest thing about joining Who was learning the entire repertoire, stage-wise, of the Who in 10 days. That's when all my session work came in handy. I never read music. I could read sort of bars and stuff like that. So I used to make my own kind of music out of it, and then I threw it all away and thought, oh no, and that was it.
Wow.
So
How wonderful.
it was a great experience.
How lovely.
And you
Gosh,
know,
what fun.
I said when I joined the Who, I said I'm not going to copy Keith Moon. There's no way I'm going to see as a replacement for him. I can't be that one. I said because he's a unique drummer in his own way. He's also a great friend, and I would no way try to imitate.
No.
If you're going to imitate Keith Moon, you have to go lock, stock, and barrel. You got to play. You got to go. You got to be nuts first. Play the drums, and try to kill yourself.
Yes.
I'm a straighter drummer. Certain things that I'm going to play, like feels that I like Keith doing. You know, I say you've got to do them because they're nice. He said, look, Kenny, because Keith is no longer with us, we have to do something completely different. We have an opportunity to do something completely different. I went, oh, great. So I thought, great, I'm going to go down a different road. Of course, we never ever did go down that different road. We ended up playing the same old Who songs every time. Kind of towards the end, I really got it. So I just fuck it, bollocks. Just ended up not trying to be Keith Moon. I kind of went, oh, I don't care anymore. So what the mistake I made when I first joined Who was I had these concert toms. So they're more tuneful, like. So I was doing these fills, whereas Mooney's kit and even my kit before they had concert toms were drums that are more or less the same size. You didn't try and make a tune out of them. You just hit them. and so that was Keith's style. And I should have thrown away the concert toms and gone back to that. 10 years I did with Who.
Did you really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
Yeah, we did Live Aid and all that shit.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you've had a very long career on that drum kit.
Well, I've got my own band now, the Jones again, which I hate the name. Sounds like a country and western band. Shitface, I like.
But Kenny, tell me, I know you've had that really fabulously successful polo club, because we were talking to Nick Cook earlier, and he was saying how fabulous it was to go there. And he wasn't a very good polo player. Not only that, he said he wasn't very good at, what did he play? Maracas or something?
Percussion.
Percussion.
Funny enough, his gear's set up in the polo club at the moment with my drums. So now and again we get together and have a little play.
In your club?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because
I haven't been to your club for ages.
Well, it's because we've been closed because of the virus. I thought, well, just set the drums up in there and have a little play.
And you do?
Yeah. During the winter, it got too cold to play. All the heat was on. Oh.
So we could go now. Could we go now?
You could go now, yeah.
And you'd come with us and play?
Yeah, we could do.
Kenny, it's great to be at your polo club. I used to come here when we were allowed to go out and play and watch polo.
Oh, the good old days, you mean?
The good old days. And I remember having wonderful, heady days in marquees alongside.
Up on what we call Corporate Hill.
Corporate
Big marquees and champagne, cocktails and
delicious
polo.
lunch.
Yeah.
Polo to watch.
Yeah.
Lots of amusing people.
Prince Charles, he was there a few times.
Did he play here, or did the young
Well, he did. Yeah, he
princes
played
play?
a few charity games. We did it for the Prince's Trust, and he came every year for about 10 years.
He was a good supporter.
Oh yeah, he's been in here. He said,
Do you know
Kenny,
what he did?
show me your clubhouse. I went, okay, it's over here. Security all the way around us, and he was lovely. He came in, and no one took a blind bit of notice of him. These old members there sitting by the bar, and so we were just talking, and one of them said, "Oh, sir, could I get you a drink?" He said, "Yes, pint of bitter, please."
Did he?
He did, yeah, pint of bitter, please.
Oh, sweet.
So I gave him the bitter, and he went, cheers, and they didn't bug him anymore.
Oh, he must have really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So where's my pint of bitter then?
But it's really nice. The clubhouse is such fun.
Yes, it's an old barn. It's 450 years old.
And it's true, I think, that you saw it somewhere, bought it,
Well,
and then brought it all here.
Yeah, barns. One of my hobbies is building barns, just for fun. You know, the first one I did was a recording studio, and when I moved here and bought the land, and I thought, what can I do? I've got to build a clubhouse for the Polo. And I heard about this barn going 3 miles away in Ockley. And I went there and I loved it. It was on the side of a hill. It was all falling down. And so I said, right, okay, I numbered it. We took it down and brought it here bit by bit and rebuilt it.
Fabulous.
Thank you very much. I like
Fabulous.
it. Yeah, I love it.
But then in the evenings, we've had many a fun time, charity events here.
I can't remember, I was so drunk.
The band was playing, everybody was dancing.
Yeah, we've had great gigs here, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. And of course, you've got a huge array of musicians that you can call on.
Yeah, I call it the rock broker belt round here. Because, I mean, you've got Eric up the road, haven't we?
Yes.
Where you used to live.
Yeah.
And we've got Mike Rutherford, and there's loads of them, loads of rock stars all around the place. There's too many. You walk around down the road, you tread on one.
And then you would import some musicians. I remember coming here once, and there's Ronnie Wood.
Well, Faces have played here, yeah.
And Faces played here.
The Who, when the Who reformed, we played here.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of gigs here, yeah. Rock and Horsepower, we called it, to raise money for prostate cancer.
Very good.
And we did, yeah, we raised about £500,000.
Amazing. Well done. Now, Kenny, behind us is your drum kit. Guess who noticed it first? Matt.
There you go, yeah.
He loves
because he plays
it.
drums, you see.
I know.
And we've just been up there, and I've introduced him to what we call a bum chum. You've got to sit behind it and have a go.
Really? Will it give
You'll
me a
know,
bum exercise?
Oh, yeah. It's a BC2. You hit the bass drum pedal, bang, like that, and it goes bang up your bum. but it's instantly.
Really?
Yeah, no delay.
Okay, I'd like to try this.
If you sit on there, sit around there.
Yeah.
Right.
Gosh, look at all these drums.
That's it. Now, put your foot on the bass drum pedal. There, bang it.
Oh, don't.
Hard.
Oh, yes, it does.
Did that feel good?
Yes.
Feel it. She's feeling it.
Kenny, also thank you for doing this interview for the podcast.
Oh, no,
You've
lovely.
been a wonderful addition. And we'll do it properly. We'll do the measurements properly. Because I have to admit, Kenny, now, I was actually throwing it in. I was slugging it all in the blender.
Of course you were. I saw you. I wasn't stopping you. It's the rock and roller in me.
And the free spirit in me. Anyway, that was great.
Pleasure,
Thank you.
Pattie.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure, Kenny.
Oh, Matt, Kenny was so adorable. I think you can just tell by everything he was saying that he's a very gentle, sweet soul, which I would imagine is kind of unusual for a drummer, you know, when you give your full energy. And yet he's so quiet and adorable, amusing and fun. And it was really lovely to talk to him.
It was. I love his sense of humour. Yeah, what an awesome guy. And I love that he invited us over to his polo club. And as it was mentioned in the podcast, I'm a drummer. And
great fun for you.
It was great fun for me. And he let me have a play on his kit, which was great. So yeah, awesome time with Kenny. So thank you, Kenny. That was so good. So quickly, just want to tell you about the socials. If you are on Facebook, you can connect with the podcast by looking for official Pattie Boyd. If you're on Instagram, it's Pattie Boyd Official. If you're on Twitter, it's @the_Pattie_Boyd, and the YouTube is Pattie Boyd Official. And if you're listening, you can watch these episodes, and if you're watching, you can listen on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And if you're enjoying these episodes, if you're really enjoying the stories that are being shared, we'd love to hear from you. So please leave a comment, and if you can, leave a review. And next week, we have another legendary drummer. Who do we have next week, Pattie?
We have the most sensational, most fabulous drummer, singer, songwriter, Roger Taylor. He's such a darling, wonderful person, and so kind of him to come here and do the podcast with us.
Yeah, incredibly humble guy, and again, it was amazing to meet him.
Do you know, I saw his show in Shepherd's Bush Empire on Friday night.
Wow.
I was so completely blown away. I couldn't believe how fabulous Roger is, you know, taking centre stage. He was a big star. Not only that, you know, he's a great drummer. His band was sensational, and
you know, the show went from being totally explosive to rather gentle and beautiful to then dynamic again. It was like a big wave. It kept
Amazing.
changing.
Amazing.
Oh my God, you are a silly boy not to have seen it in Guildford.
I know. Next time, hopefully. Next time. So all of that and more next week. And we look forward to you hearing Roger's story next time.
Put your foot on the bass, Bill.
Oh, is it?
Is that there?
Yes.
She's feeling it. She's feeling it.
Did you get the pop roll?
That's great. Right.
These have got silences on, so you can't really hear. I'll take them off in a minute and make a noise.